My Hero Academia ends, Jujutsu Kaisen is ending in September 2024, and many other manga reaching the end of their final arc. We are really witnessing another great shonen era coming to an end. And what is next for shonen manga? Are we really running out of good manga to read? Well, for a short answer, no. There are a lot of great manga out there that are just sitting in the corner waiting for you to read it. It is just a matter of time until a manga blows up and getting the attention it deserves. So put your chin up, sir. The next era of shonen is coming up and even better than this one. And lucky for you, I'm going to list down a whole bunch of manga that I believe are going to be in this next generation of shonen manga. The next Jujutsu Kaisen, the next Demon Slayer, the next One Piece. Wait, One Piece is still going? So if you're here looking for what manga to read next, this is the perfect video for you. Now, I want to put aside some big names that people usually say when talking about this new generation of shonen manga. And I don't think I have to tell you much about the manga itself because I'm pretty sure you already know the general story of the manga. These big names are pretty obvious and mainstream, so if you want to see more niche titles, you can skip to the time below. Kagurabachi is the name I will recommend first for you to check it out. The story is about a man named Chihiro who is looking for an organization who stole his family katana and killed his father. Kagurabachi draws a lot of similarities with other shonen manga like Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen, so you don't have to dip your toes into a brand new world. But you can draw some similarities and even some techniques are also kinda the same. The art style and the fighting panel in Kagurabachi is one of the best in this list. Despite all the memes it has, Kagurabachi is actually a pretty good read. The anime adaptation of Kaiju No. 8 just ended this spring season, and I don't think there is going to be a better time to read the manga. If you're tired of seeing the same young boy protagonist in shonen manga, Kaiju No. 8 has something different. The story hit a little close to home for me. It's about a 30-year-old man who is trying to chase his childhood dream. He wants to be a kaiju cleaner, slaying monsters with badass weapons, but ended up being a literal kaiju dookie cleaner. If you already watched the anime and thinking it's absolutely amazing, wait until you read the manga. Seeing stuff like this, 4 full panels of just kaiju getting dunked, is a normal thing in this manga. Kaiju No. 8 just about to reach its, I do believe, about to be the best arc in the manga, so go ahead and pick it up for yourself. Dandadan and Sakamoto Days is the hottest manga right now, and I do believe everyone expects it to carry this next shonen generation. And they are not wrong. Dandadan is my personal favorite manga in this list. I cannot tell you much about the story actually. It's like JoJo, you have to experience Dandadan for yourself. The fighting scenes goes incredibly hard every single time, you won't be disappointed at all. All I wanna say is Obama, Loch Ness Monster, and Beethoven is an actual canonical character in this manga. Yeah, just imagine explaining this manga to you. Sakamoto Days is what happens if John Wick let loose of himself and decided to open up a Walmart with more survival wife. It is an action comedy manga, but later down in the story, it will be more pivoting on the action, the threats they are having, and the backstory of Sakamoto himself. Sakamoto is this one giant bulldoze of maxed out stat character, so he will be styling on these guys while fighting. No need to question the art style, it's the Mr. Badass Assassin himself. Obviously, it will be amazing. If you're looking more darker manga, Gachiakuta might be for you. It's a story about trash, being a trash, and treated like a trash. Ruro lives amongst the people of the slums. Everyone despises him because he is the son of a murderer. One day he is framed by someone for killing Recto, and he was sentenced to the abyss. In the abyss, he discovers a whole new world where people live alongside trash. It has some of the best, most gruesome expressions I have ever seen in the manga. I cover Gachiakuta more deeply in my video, link in the description, check it out after watching this video. The next name I want to talk about is a bit different from all the manga I previously mentioned. Usually, shonen manga involves kicking and punching your enemies, is all about being the strongest. Akane Banashi shines on the storytelling and the uncanny expressions that I will give the greenest light in the world to completely ruin my life. Akane Banashi is about Rakugo. To put into more simple terms, it is an old Japanese way of stand-up comedy. And after Akane watched her father perform Rakugo and gets cheated on by his own teacher, Akane now wants to be the best Rakugoka in Japan. A pretty simple shonen concept, but it is not about Akane being the best, but how she is going to be the best. And believe me, you are going to read one of the best underdog story ever written in shonen manga history. You are going to read a lot of dialogue, as reading Akane Banashi is like reading a story inside a story. But the storytelling and the illustration on how Akane doing the Rakugo helps you so much to immerse yourself to the story. Watch in a few years that this phase will be everywhere on the internet. If all of those titles are still not enough, here is a bunch other quite fairly popular manga that I also highly recommend. Now moving on to some titles that I see that have less attention, even though these are on par or even better than all the manga that I have listed. I will give this manga 2 to 3 minutes to explain to you guys what the story is about and what I really like from those manga. After years of isekai ruining the bad reputation of fantasy anime, Frieren has opened up the eyes of many people of what fantasy anime should be. But long before the anime and even the manga of Frieren being first released, Hat Atelier basically exists, carrying the entire fantasy manga years before Frieren even came up as an idea. And with a confirmed anime adaptation somewhere in 2025, we can say that the fantasy anime is slowly healing back to what fantasy anime should be. And I'm sorry in advance for putting this one on the list because it is kinda misleading. Hat Atelier is not even a shonen, but the main character is a little girl, okay? You can say this is a shonen, right? That little girl's name is Coco. Coco has a deep fascination with everything involving magic. But sadly, how this world works is only witch that can use and handle magic. You cannot train to be a witch, but you are born with it. So no matter how much Coco loves magic or she begs an actual witch to teach her magic, she never ever will be a witch and be able to use magic. Or is it? Coco finds a little bit sus when witches like Kifrey didn't let anyone see him doing magic. Coco always sees magic as something beautiful, something wonderful, something that you don't have to shy away from to show everyone that you can do magic. So curiosity gets the better of her and she sneaks in to see Kifrey doing magic. And she was astonished to see that Kifrey didn't do magic, but he draws magic. Lines, circles, patterns. These are the true working magic. Coco then tries to draw magics for herself and she sees magic happening right in front of her eyes. She can do magic! All of these rumors that say that only a witch can do magic are lies. Coco draws even more patterns. And those last 2 patterns that she draws brings disaster. One pattern bursts into a huge flame, destroying her entire room, and one petrifies her mother. Thankfully, Kifrey was just right in time to save Coco and quickly realized what happened. This little girl knows the secret that the witches have been desperately trying to hide. If everyone can do magic, then the world would fall into chaos. People will do magic for bad things, and that's why these rumors are spread to contain the magic as it is. Now Coco only has 2 options: getting her memory erased, forgets everything about magic, or she has to be a witch to keep containing the magic and tries to save her mother in the process. This is going to be the main quest of the story, but this is not what excites me to keep reading this manga. It is how the author can immerse you in the world she tries to build. Kamome Shirahama sensei makes sketches and panels that I genuinely have never seen in a manga before. There is this one scene when they are fighting an entangled monster, and you can see the tangles spread across the panel. And this is where Coco jumps out of the boat and you can see the panel also warp and her feet coming out from the panel. Or this is where they break the 4th wall as if they were in a book and picking to the next page. Or this is something that I can't explain what is going on, but I know this is also amazing. The brain of this woman needs to be studied. This whole manga is so beautiful and way ahead of its time, like it is coming out from the library of Hogwarts. And as the world and the story keeps expanding, you can see why everyone is going deep crazy when reading this manga. From going to libraries guarded by monsters and underwater cities, to a twisted labyrinth, to a maze full of dragons. This manga will never run out to set a setting that will excite you to keep on reading their journey. And I think that is enough reason why you should consider reading Hat Atelier. I'm pretty sure there are enough people watching my videos that will appreciate manga like this. For the next manga in this list, I want to go back to the original roots of shonen. a something that we are more familiar with what we expect coming out from a shonen manga. It's a tale of two mangaka. Garyu is the manga genius that can create a story out of nothing and turn it into a masterpiece. You can think of something absurd, like dragons and Chameleon, and make it into something that Oda-sensei can give a stamp of approval. That is why everyone calls him the Dragon, a guy that is known for dedicating his entire life perfecting manga. Garyu has an assistant named Shinobu, who is also a genius in his own way. The Chameleon, a guy that can copy the exact style of any mangaka, any artist he wants to, and even his own sensei, he can copy down to the exact detail. He doesn't need hard work, as he can copy anything he sees. Garyu and Shinobu are the complete opposite. One honed his skills for creativity and originality, proud of achieving something by himself, and the other one only cares about the result, completely utilize his talents for his own good. That is when one day, they swap bodies with each other and you know exactly what is going to happen. Shinobu finally became the famous mangaka he always dreamed of, and even though he gets the fame by accident, he is still proud of it, acting like a complete in front of his former sensei. He doesn't have any problem continuing Garyu's manga because he can just simply copy his style. And for Garyu, he still has the passion of drawing manga. Even though he quite literally gets thrown back to the beginning, he still wants to make manga and show the world that he is, indeed, the dragon. This manga has no right to be this fucking interesting. It's when everybody tells you that anime and manga can make anything looks epic. Show them this manga and they will understand. There is one scene that I really like in the manga is when Garyu being in Shinobu's body trying to convince his editor. And of course the editor is nya, you are not the genius. And then bang! 50-page one-shot manga right on spot. Giving him fat middle finger 3-pointer from the deep, and boy howdy look at that. That is so satisfying. This is exactly the shonen manga I need. The stupidest concept and make it look amazing. Every single panel from this manga goes fucking hard for no reason at all. You can just casually reading the manga and then BANG! Some shit happens out of nowhere. Even just them talking to each other is like two JoJo's characters with menacing aura staring at each other. It is amazing. I'm running out of words to describe how epic this manga is. Each chapter gets more and more interesting. The art goes even better. The tension between these two is about to break space and time. The author is a former assistant of Oda Sensei and Horikoshi Sensei, so maybe, you know, he's the Chameleon guy all along. I'm gonna be honest, I've already read this manga before I decided to write this script. And I also already talked about this manga in my previous video way back in February. And the video is already 6 months old, and still when I say Kindergarten Wars, my friends are still giving me the huh? So I think I'm gonna cover this manga one more time, and you better remember this manga for the rest of your life. Kindergarten Wars is about a kindergarten teacher named Rita. Rita is not your normal teacher. She was an ex-S-tier assassin that is now working as a teacher. In fact, not only Rita, but all of these teachers are a little bit dangerous. There is one this swindler that is so good, like he was coming straight out of Leonardo DiCaprio's Now You See Me. But why these teachers are working for one specific kindergarten? Well, because these are the kids of billionaires, important politicians, and maybe you can find Gege dressing up so the fans stop searching for him. So I'm wishing very good luck to everyone who tries to kill the kid and awaken this sleeping monster. But Rita has one big problem, is that she's in her 20s and looking for a man to settle down with. So every time she wants to kill someone and he's a good-looking man, she immediately forgets what she was doing. She basically doing Tinder matches during her missions, and if any of her questions the answer is not to her liking, she swipe left. This creates a very interesting combination of happy comedy full of laughs and absolute gore fest just waiting for you on the next page. If you are looking for a fruitful action comedy like Spy Family, the only manga you need to be reading next is right on your face. And if you are one of those people that really didn't like manga like this because the art is average, I have 2 words for you. Fuck you. You probably haven't opened a single panel of this manga, which is fine because it's my job to tell you that this, and this is only in the first chapter. If you want to see manga that have fight scenes that you can literally hear the sound effects, if you want to see a teacher using a grenade and a baseball bat and swings a home run at them, if you want to see an actual developing relationship instead of relying on a little kid to make you like each other, and then bang, Kindergarten Wars has it all. And do you wanna know the crazy thing is? The crazy thing is, this manga hasn't have a confirmed anime adaptation. Like, guys, what are you waiting for? But I'm pretty sure the announcement is coming soon, so thank God I can actually shut myself from yapping this manga to everyone I talk to. So far, I've been talking about mangas that are still being released, so why not slide in one title that just recently finished? Now this manga is not that popular for a reason. You know why. You can look at the cover.
Gay girls in it, you know?
The Summer You Were There is about a girl named Hoshikawa. Hoshikawa has been working on her light novel for over a year, and finally it's time to wrap it up. This novel is going to be her first and last light novel, as she was too afraid by the response from the readers would be very rude to her. At the very last moment she was about to publish it, she decided to put it away instead. But just at the right time she was about to throw it away, Kaori, her classmates, saw Hoshikawa about to throw away her novel and decided to take and read her light novel instead. Next morning, Hoshikawa is afraid Kaori would dislike her light novel and getting bullied. But to her surprise, Kaori is actually really like her light novel. She thought it was incredible. She was moved by the story and even made her cry. Hoshikawa was about to give up on her dream when stars aligned and she met someone who appreciates her. Hoshikawa then wanted to make another light novel, but she didn't know what to do. But now she has Kaori on her side, and Kaori suggests making a love story about themselves. That was beautiful. That's basically summarized the first chapter of this manga. Hoshikawa and Kaori started to going out in the next chapter, knowing each other, and eventually their relationship blossomed into something bigger. Hoshikawa was confused about being a couple and even sometimes annoyed by Kaori because she was pushing the concept of couple to her. It's a she can fix me kind of situation, and also, it is not only about the light novel they are about to write. Nah, it is not even about the novel from the beginning, but it is about themselves. You will eventually notice how Kaori is seemingly only talking about Hoshikawa all the time, but not about herself. How she is also seemingly too happy and positive around her. It's a portrayal of struggle that I imagine most of us can relate to and how it affects people close to us. And it is beautifully narrated in this manga. It starts with you seeing them help each other until you realize it comes back to you. These two girls save each other and it saves you. I won't spoil what happened in the end, but trust me, it is worth reading. If you decided to read this manga, please do take your time reading each chapter. Take your time to read what they say to each other, as it only has 30 chapters, so it's gonna go by quite fast. If you are listening to this song right now, well, let me give you a round of applause because you are the 2% of people who actually watch my video until the end. And as a thank you gift, here are also some manga that I've been reading lately, and I also find it is also fitting for this video. From reading each manga and getting excited to tell you to read it, this has to be the video that I have the most fun of making it. I just don't have the right time to make a script and put it properly. But hope you enjoyed this video. Give a thumbs up if you want to see more video like this, and comment down your thoughts or your recommendation for everyone to see. And click up here if you also want other manga recommendations, games to play, or anime to watch.